My name is Professor Matthew Petway at the University of South Alabama. I'm the author of Cuban Literature in the Age of Black Insurrection, Manzano Plácido, and Afro-Latino Religion. Wednesday was the first day of classes here at the university, and in my Introduction to Literature of the Hispanophone World class, I'd like to begin with a poem, but I provide my students with the poem and the title of the poem without telling them who the author is, and without providing any sort of historical or cultural, social cultural context. I gave the students this poem, and they began to struggle with the text, really trying to figure out what the text was about primarily, and then trying to surmise what they could about the gender of the author. The poem was from the author Juan Francisco Manzano, one of the authors that I examined, kind of a Cuban Frederick Douglass of sorts, that I examined in my book, Cuban Literature in the Age of Black Insurrection. And the poem was called 30 Years or Mis 30 Años. And so I use that method in order to demonstrate to students the significance of historical context and social context, that without those, the text has little or perhaps no meaning, right? But the poem itself is a poem about the struggle against African enslavement in Cuba in the 19th century, Mis 30 Años, or My 30 Years. So I told the students after that, I said, we're not actually going to begin this class on the Introduction to Literature of the Hispanophone World with African slavery. Instead, we're going to look at African sovereignty. And so we're going to look at the Mauritanian invasion of Spain and southern Portugal in the 11th century. In the year 1086, African Muslims of a mahogany hue and ebony complexion conquered parts of Portugal and much of Spain. And so we're going to begin with that in order to start these classes, cultural studies classes, not with portraits of enslavement and oppression, but rather African sovereignty. Ashe.